Hello, Storm Knights. This is Lehman Crafton, aka Zorvalachan Less Than Guru, and this is the Torg Eternity on Roll20 playthrough using dynamic lighting. And in the spirit of Halloween and Torg or Treat, this is an adventure taking place in Aurorsh. It is a kind of a condensed version of the Delphi mission Cali Stations Gone Dark. So I have the same two Storm Knights as the last playthrough. Peter is playing Jean-Claude Clouseau. Say hi, Peter.
Howdy, howdy.
And Anthony is playing the cyberpapal drone jockey, Void.
Hello.
I can barely hear you, so I'm not sure if that's your mic or what.
Is that any better?
Yes, that's better.
Yep.
Okay, so the last time we had both of you here, you had basically saved a elderly lady from being possessed by a demon in the cyber papacy. And since then, your travels have taken you to Aurorsh, which might not be a nice place at all, but sometimes Storm Knights have to do things and go places that they really would rather not. So to go over Aurorsh axioms and world laws, I've placed the little table tent up here. And so magic is 16, which is pretty good. Social is 18. So we are looking at a late 1800s type social axiom. Spirit is 16, so miracles and things like that can be used. And tech 18, which is again around late 19th century technology. The laws of corruption, the first is the law of fear, which will be used with Cosm cards. The law of eternal corruption, which is sometimes you might be tempted with things, and if you accept the temptation or you do something that might cause corruption, you might need to roll a willpower or spirit, otherwise you become corrupt and you lose a charisma point. And then the law of perseverance, which is that if you rolled a soak, instead of a standard soak negating a wound in all shock, it only negates the shock. It takes an actual good success to negate one wound, but outstanding works as normal. That negates all wounds. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it seemed that the recording stopped and we went on a little bit. It didn't get into any of the dynamic lighting, so I don't want to necessarily have to do everything over again. Basically, what had happened during that time is I did some requisitions with the Storm Knights here. Things that I do is I allow cards and possibilities to be spent on requisitions, but then they do not have those that they have used for the first scene or act, depending. So those resources have been used when they started. Jean-Paul had attempted to get a scope and had failed, and Void was getting a smart gun attachment, and he actually used a card to succeed in that. Also, during the time, they talked about what their characters had used their previous 5 XP on. Jean Paul had gained 3 skills, 1 point in each skill. He kept 2. He said that he likes keeping a couple of possibilities each time so they can accumulate, and then he can up an attribute, which will then raise everything associated with that skill, or with that attribute. And Anthony had purchased some cyberware, including a Bell Spectrum. What I did there is I had reset his character because previously his character did not have any type of night vision or things like that, but then he did the Bell Spectrum. So I just went here, dynamic lighting, turned it on, gave him 10 meters of light, gave him a kind of a color for the night vision, and then I went to the character sheet, edit. Wrong character sheet. I went to Void's character sheet, went to edit it, removed the token because that was the token that did not have night vision, edited the new token, and now when character drags and drops the token onto the map, it should have the night vision all there. So they had approached the station. They noticed going down the river was a ironclad, a warship that was belching black smoke from the smokestack as it was kind of going down river. They noticed the station itself might have something like a Core Earth talisman or something in it, because it was it had antenna poking out from the roof, like communication antenna. They noticed that the front door was wide open, and one of the windows had been busted open. A chair was hanging out of the window, and from the glass shards were outside, so it looked like something was the chair busted from the inside outside. Void sent his scout drone inside and had noticed that everything was kind of torn apart and tossed and disheveled and everything, and noticed 5 dead bodies lying in different haphazardly across the main room that went to, there is doors that went to a couple of other rooms. He then used his medicine skill, unskilled. He didn't actually have it, but down here you can see in chat, and he rolled well enough that he got a result of 14. So even seeing it unskilled, and this is basically where we left off when the recording stopped, and so I'll just every once in a while I'll go up and make sure that the recording is still going. But he noticed that the 4 men and 1 woman. So the bodies are 5 people, 4 men, 1 woman, and they have seemed to be dead within the last maybe day or 2, and not much beyond that. So pretty recently. So that's what you've seen so far.
I will let Jean-Paul know that there's 5 dead. I don't see any antagonists at this point. About a day old.
All right. I'm going to go to the front door. I'm going to look around. There's bound to be footprints going in and out of the door, but are there things like drag marks? Are there vehicle marks?
While he goes to inspect the front door, just out of curiosity, and because it's quite quaint, I think I'm going to send the scout drone to scan and record the ironclad.
Okay.
See if I can get a name, or if it's emblazoned on the side or something like that.
Okay, sure. So you send the scout drone, to look at the ironclad, and Jean-Paul, it doesn't look like there's any necessarily, drag marks. There's definitely no vehicle, whether it's a coach or horses or anything like that, around the building.
Okay.
And there's no drag marks going either in or out of the building. It kind of looks like if anything happened in the building, it stayed in the building.
Okay. I am going to go to the door, look inside. Not actually step in yet.
Okay.
Is it slightly darker in the room? I mean,
Yes, there's nothing lit in the room.
just ambient light from the windows.
Correct. Yes.
I'm going to let my eyes adjust a little bit before I go in.
Okay. While you're doing that, Void, your drone gets close to the ironclad. It is a dreadnought class ironclad, and it has a name HMR VN, which is Her Majesty's Royal Victorian Navy symbol on the side, and it is the name of the ship is the Thunder Lad.
Alrighty. Is there any open ports or windows?
You see people like on the deck dressed in like Victorian Navy uniforms, and you even see somebody dressed in a priest's garb.
I record.
I'd be careful. I don't know if they would take too kindly for a strange thing come flying up. They might start shooting at you if they don't know what you are.
That is true. I'll have it go into stealth mode, but I do record faces and stuff like that just in case it becomes important later.
Okay. So in stealth mode, it's doing its video recording. What else would you like to do at the building? Because you haven't gone into the room yet.
Yeah, I'm letting my eyes adjust so that when I step in, I'm not totally night blind, so to speak.
Right. It's not pitch black, but it you won't see things absolutely clear.
I'm gonna look in just a little bit. Is there a light switch or anything like that?
Right by the front door entrance is a light switch. So the thoughts of looking at the antenna sticking out from the roof. This very much could be core earthy with the talisman or something like that.
Well, I'll reach in and flip the switch and see if it works.
it does work. You flip the switch, and you're greeted by what Void had described to you: 5 dead bodies, 4 men, 1 woman, sprawled all around this main room. Chairs and tables have been knocked over. Papers are scattered everywhere. And you see blood all over the walls and floors.
Trying to be as careful as I can to avoid stepping in pools of blood, but also trying not to disturb anything. I'm going to step in. I'm going to look around first, listen. Do I hear anything from the other rooms?
You don't hear anything coming from any of the other. It's pretty silent.
Okay. Probably just the buzzing of flies.
Yes. Yeah, and the only thing that you're seeing is like the, maggots crawling in
Right.
dead bodies.
Well,
I do it this as I see him getting ready to go in. I call back my scout drone and
Okay.
shut it down and flip to my assault drone just in case.
Okay. So you flip over from scout to assault drone.
check the roof real quick, please.
Okay, I'll send the assault drone up to look if its gun's blazing. Or sorry, not quite blazing yet.
The roof, there's nothing on the roof except for, like I said, there's a couple of transmission antenna.
Alright. So the roof looks clear. And
Alright.
I'll have the assault drone hover next to him because it will also provide a little bit of light for him if he ends up going into a room without light.
Okay.
Check out the bodies, just in case one of them might still be alive.
Okay.
Unconscious, whatever.
Go ahead and give me an evidence analysis test. You're looking for a hard difficulty of 14.
Ugh.
So none of the body, nobody's alive. They're all dead. You do notice in the hand of one of them is a flash drive, like a modern Core Earth flash drive.
I'm going to pocket that for the time being.
Looking a little more, since you've actually gone inside, you do know that it looks like all of the radio and computer and equipment like that has all been completely smashed and destroyed.
Okay. How were they killed? Were they shot, stabbed, slashed, throats cut, bludgeoned?
Various things. Your evidence analysis actually was to see how they died, and you failed. So it just looks like they have wounds, cuts, and things on their bodies.
Mayhem.
Cuts, bashed in heads, things like that. So various types, but you can't piece together what might have been able to do that.
Do I see any evidence of firearms? I mean, are there bullet holes and things in computers, in the walls?
You don't see any bullet holes or firearms or spent shell cartridge casings or anything like that.
Okay.
So is there something that we could find here that gave this place the ability to maintain core, or like to make sure it stays protected?
Usually what it is like an object, a talisman, but you're not sure what object it would be in this place.
And we don't really have anything that's like a detect magic that would tell us.
No, there's no like. There I can't say there's none because maybe there's some perk somewhere that allows you to sense talismans or a spell, but your two characters would not be able to detect a talisman.
Right.
Okay.
How many other doors are there? How many other rooms?
There's a couple of doors that you haven't gone through. You're not sure if they lead to other doors or other rooms.
Right. How many other doors?
There's a couple of other doors too from here.
Okay. Go to the first one. Whichever, left-hand side, whatever.
Uh-huh. It kind of goes to a kitchen that then has two other doors that open off to it into other rooms. Basically, a quick once-over. It's a 6-room building. Small rooms are like the main room by the door, and then a kitchen, and one of the areas kind of led off to what was being used as a bedroom, and then another one went to a hallway, which then led to a bathroom and another bedroom, a smaller one.
So there's no code room or radio room. All of that was done in the main room.
All of that was done in the main room, correct?
Okay. Try and gather up some of the papers.
Okay.
In the kitchen, is there a back door?
No, there's just the main door that led out the front that you came in.
Okay. Can I find a shovel or a digging tool?
There probably is like a shack or something, a little tool shed near the building that probably would have something like a shovel in it.
Okay. After collecting, I guess as much of the paperwork as I can, I want to search the bodies, primarily for identification.
Okay.
So that I can write down their names and such, so that, whoever sent us on this, we can report back and at least identify the people.
Right. Yeah, they might have IDs that might not be who they are, because they might be, aliases.
Right.
Because they were gathering information, but in the right hand, somebody might know who that fake, who the fake ID actually belonged to.
Exactly.
Once it looks like we've cleared all the rooms and stuff, you switch back to the scout drone, and I'm going to see if there's any tracks that I can follow off in one direction or another.
Okay.
Something that looks different than what these people would have created.
Actually, go ahead and give me a find test while Jean-Claude was, looking for IDs and stuff like that, and you were in the room and kind of looking around as well.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, so at first it was a little difficult to see because, like I said, there was the room's a mess, the dead bodies, horrible smell coming from the decay of the bodies. Even though it has been recently, it still smells horrible, and blood everywhere. So for a little bit you didn't notice it, but then you did. Under one of the windows, there's words that spell out, written in blood, that say "Tower free to us."
Okay. Once I get done, searching for IDs, etc., I'm gonna go outside and off to the side, whatever, dig some very shallow graves.
Okay.
If there's, you said there were a couple of bedrooms. Wrap the bodies in some sheets, whatever. Rather than just leave them, lying here.
Right. So you work with giving the dead a proper burial. Void, you're not seeing any tracks or anything really. A few footprints that you see just look like normal people footprints that probably belong to those that the bodies that you found.
Okay. I have my drone stay on overwatch. Let me know if there's anything approaching, and then I'll assist jump off.
Okay. So it's 5 bodies. Luckily, you are in a jungle where rainfall, so it's not hard. Dirt that you're going through. It is mud. It kind of is messy that way, but it's easier to dig the graves.
Right.
And you're able to lay everybody to rest within like you said, shallow graves, because otherwise you would be spending a really long time there.
Pull one of the tables out of the building, so that we don't have to sit in the stink and the corruption.
Right.
And have Void work with me and just looking through the papers that we've collected real quick.
The papers kind of just look like they're in some type of code, so it's probably something that would need to be deciphered by the Circle of Knights.
Okay. If possible, find a bag or a briefcase or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stick all of them in it, and put it in my pack or whatever for now.
Okay.
While we were going through it, just in case, I will have scanned each one of them, recorded it,
Okay.
saved it. That way we have a digital backup just in case something happens to...
Okay, sure.
I'm going to hand Void the thumb drive or whatever that I found.
Okay, so you give him the flash drive?
Yep, I don't know if he can access it or not.
No, I don't have a cyber deck. Not unless one of my droids has a USB port.
Probably not. I need a USB to GodNet adapter.
First chance we get, I do have computers, but first chance we find a working computer.
Uh-huh.
Looking over the stuff inside, could one be hobbled together out of the busted up ones?
Probably not.
Okay.
Or if it was, it would be above your computer skills.
Well, based on that thing that says the tower freed us, do you think our next step should be to go check out that tower?
That seems logical.
Um,
I'm a little worried about going there to check out the tower.
Well, yeah. It doesn't seem like there's anything else here that's gonna.
The ironclad heading in that direction or heading in a different direction?
It's heading kind of parallel to the tower. Like if I want to do a quick little drawing, so I'm going up here and choosing my draw freehand, and it's set to my color here. You'll see is red, and here is red. So if you have the river kind of like going this way, and you're here, and the ironclad is going there, and the tower is like there.
Oh, the tower's on the same side of the river as us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, let's start heading that way.
Lehman,
Yes.
how equipped are we for a stay, in this area? I'm thinking about popping into the kitchen and, grabbing a bunch of food or supplies or whatever.
You'd maybe want to gather some stuff that's not going to spoil.
Right. I mean, if they've got some cans of Spam or, tinned cheese or, sardines or fruit cocktail or whatever.
Right. So you get some canned goods, and if you need to grab a can opener, there would be a can opener there.
Well, that's what a knife is for.
All right, some archaic food, yummy.
Well, canning technology started in the American Civil War, so mid 1800s.
Right, it's just that we outlawed Spam a long time ago.
No spam in the cyber papacy. So you kind of make your way through. It's not really dense, but light jungle, going up. Winding your way. Up the tower.
Void, could your scout drone find us a path, or figure out the easiest way to the tower?
Yeah, it'll be scouting ahead of us, so we'll be picking through the best path we can. At least letting us know if there's anything deadly ahead.
Right. You kind of go on what either might be an actual dirt path, or maybe it's a game trail. It's kind of hard to tell which one, but it kind of goes from the listening station up to the tower. It's about 2 miles, but with the with having taking your time to explore the station, bury the bodies, and then walk through the jungle, it's sun setting as you finally reach the tower. It's made of a gray stone. You do see lamp lights flickering from the windows. It's a 3-story tower, and it has weird little what do I want to say? They kind of look like lightning rods at the top that every once in a while it looks like there's a little spark and a little circle of electricity that kind of goes around it. And one of you can give me... Oh... And the other one can assist at a DN of 2 points less. I'm looking for a hard evidence analysis test. Either a 16 or for whoever is doing it, or if you want to help, you're going against a 14.
I'm unskilled with a 9.
I'm unskilled with a 7. So I'll assist.
Yeah. I just think they might have a computer.
Nope. No assist.
Oh, no. I don't know. Is that a building?
You weren't using... You don't have anything that gave you, like, favored through cyberware, so you don't disconnect. So at least that.
You're using my normal eye.
Right. You have the other eye closed. So yeah, it's just like a three-story tower up there. And here what I'll do is I'll hit my page toolbar. And the first thing I want to do is I want to go to the map that we'll be using. And as you remember, this area, I have it on the... I'll move to select move. This area here is for card play. And I'm going to say that this here is the path. So I will take go to the journal tab and drag I accidentally had that on, so I will turn that off. And then I will need to let me go ahead and make sure that everybody's thing is working. So I will put void there, and that's because he has the low light vision. And then he had the scout droid out, so I'm gonna bring the scout droid. Since that effect happened and I want to make sure that it's not there anymore, I will go to the settings of that, go to dynamic lighting, turn it off, and then turn it back on. And hopefully that does. And then I will take the player ribbon and I will move the player ribbon. And hopefully if I go to rejoin as player, I'll show you how they're probably seeing things. So, and that's probably how Void is seeing things, and Jean-Claude is having probably a hard time seeing anything because there's currently no light source that he can see. But they both... Do you see the area of white at the bottom?
It's like 2 squares wide. Well,
at the bottom of the screen.
I see it. I'm above it.
Right, both of you should be right above that area. That's what we'll use to play cards. So any turn drama cards that get turned for initiative or anything, Destiny cards that get played, that's the playing field for that.
It'd be a little truncated for that, wouldn't it? Oh wait, I'm zoomed way out. Never mind. There we go. I see more of it now.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to rejoin as the game master.
So are you having a hard time seeing?
Me?
Yeah, is it dark for you?
I can't see anything. I can't even see you.
Then
Can you see your own token?
Oh yeah, I see my own token.
Okay.
I will shed some light on the subject for you. Switch out. So I will go back and see if this works. I will pull out my assault.
Did I not connect that right? Okay, so here's what happened. That token got lost.
No.
Oh, I thought I couldn't see Tony because I can't see anything.
Right, no.
Yes,
it's dark.
but he brought out something else, so I'll leave them there, and that token that I had for that drone got lost. So
Yeah.
I will go over here in my art uploads and type in assault, because that hopefully will, if I can actually spell it,
I should have seen
will
if there was
bring that token here. So I will drop that token, and then I wanted to make it a little bit smaller, so I go to is drawing, and I kind of make it a quarter of what it was. And then I want to go, I can name it as oh, why is it doing that? Controlled by void. This has a completely different, it's not allowing represents. There we go. So I want it to represent the assault drone. So we're going to take this, and it doesn't have possibilities. This, and I can start typing shock and then put the shock, and on here I can start typing wounds and put the wounds. So that automatically goes. Advanced, I want to set the bars so that everything can be seen. I like when it's bottom overlapping, and then dynamic lighting will give it vision, and we'll say that it emits bright light 10 meters. And then we can save the changes. I can go back to the journal tab, go to assault drone, make sure I have the token clicked, select that, save it, and then hopefully we can go back to that. And now see if you can drag and drop it and see if it'll shed some light. So did you see that light now, Peter?
Yep, I see it now.
Okay. So up here you notice, you know, the wall of the tower. You're kind of on a path here that leads up to a door there. And then to show everybody else at least what Void would see everything, and Jean-Claude would only see what the drone is showing. So that's what is visible.
The drone kind of overrides my own light for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. I should have grabbed a lantern or a flashlight if there was one handy at the...
Oh, I don't know if it matters, but I don't think my drone is snapping the square.
Yeah, because I have it as a drawing. Let's see if I can change it back. There you go.
All right.
Do you want to knock or should I knock?
Oh, I'm happy if you knock. I got it.
He's like, I got the light source, you knock. So you knock, and there's no answer.
Well, they might be up on the top floor, so it might take them a while to get down. So is there a door knocker or just is it a wood door, metal door?
It's a wood door. It looks like reinforced with some metal, band straps on it, and it does have an old, knocker, but it's bang, 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 and no answer.
Well, I'll wait, a minute, and then I'll pound it again.
And it still seems like there's no answer.
So I'll have my drone stay there and cover Sean for a second. I'm gonna walk
Okay.
around, see if I see like windows or something.
Okay, so what we can do is while Void is going around the tower, we can see what he's seeing. So he has the drone here and he can see the drone. So the drone's giving off light, and then his night vision is allowing him to see that. So if he continues, there will probably get to a point where maybe it'll start seeing interesting. It doesn't. Do I not have Explorer mode on? So what I'm going to do, hold on one moment. Let me rejoin as the game master. And go. And let's make sure that I didn't turn off. I did. So when I turned on and off the dynamic lighting, or maybe when I was adjusting things after the last setup video, I turned off Explorer mode. So I want to turn on Explorer mode. And then let's see how it goes. So hopefully now he'll be able to see those parts that he saw before. Yes, so up here you'll see it in gray, and that's the area that he saw before, so he kind of knows the lay of the land, but he's no longer has access to it visually, so if anything's out there now, he won't see that. He'll just remember what the setup is.
Doesn't look like any other point of entry.
And I'm not sure what this jagged area is. That looks kind of strange. Do you see, either one of you, do you see anything inside of the building, even gray or not?
Nope.
Solid black.
It's just black? Okay, because I'm seeing gray, so at some point, I guess I had moved something there and had seen things, and that's why that is, but they see it more like over here. So I will rejoin as the game master. So there's still, however many times you knocked during his circle of the tower, there has been no answer.
I am going to test the door. Is there a door handle?
There is like a not necessarily a handle as in like a knob, but the curved,
Right.
I guess the kind of handle thing with the little trigger.
Right. Right.
And it seems locked, but there is a keyhole there.
Well, I don't have lock picking.
We don't have those kind of locks. Well, they freed our people, which seems to mean that they shot them or beat them or whatever. So why don't you try to be nice about opening the door, but after that we just shoot it down.
So, jiggling the handle, whatever, it's definitely locked.
Yes.
Can I try and pick the lock?
Yeah, you can try lock picking. It would be a very, very hard 16 lock picking.
Nope.
So you're trying, but it's too old-fashioned, and you're not used to these type of locks.
And I don't really have any decent tools.
Right.
I'm looking around for where you slot the card. I don't know. I want an old movie where they kick the door in. Can you do that?
Well, I just realized I have a multi-tool. So using my multi-tool, flipping up, the various blades and stuff in my multi-tool. Try and find a blade or whatever that will fit, whether it's the can opener, whether it's the little saw, whatever, blade attachment, whatever on the multi-tool will fit into the lock. Try it again.
Okay. With the multi-tool, I'll give you a +2 modifier for that.
Okay. Modifier 2. That's not any better.
Yep. So if you want to break it down, you can give me a strength test of 16 to kick down the door.
Huh. I'm not thinking that's going to work much better, but no modifier. I'm going to use a possibility.
Okay.
And my character is selected. Modifier, previous roll was 12.
No, it was nothing. Previous roll was 12, but the modifier was nothing. So 17. So you give it a good hard kick, and the door busts open. And so what I will do here is I will go to the layers and go to dynamic layer, and then I will select and grab that door, and then as I showed you last time, I'll just move that door, and then I'll go back to the objects and tokens, and then if we go back to rejoin as player, from the angle of the assault droid giving off light, they can see this area of the inside of the tower room there.
So step inside.
So you step inside, and you notice that it's decorated like a Victorian era drawing room. It has wing-back chairs. There's a grandfather clock, kind of a sideboard that has brandy and whiskey, and you notice a spiral staircase that goes up. Then you also give me a both of you can just give me a find test. Normally I do one, but you're both kind of just looking around there, so. An 8 and a 6. So Jean Paul, up on a mantle, you notice what appears to be about hand-sized something that looks like an Egyptian symbol.
I'll point it out to Void and go over and take a closer look at it. Which way is it?
It would be over here, up on a mantle, up on the wall.
If that's anywhere near the drink cart, kicking in that door was exhausting, so I'm going to pour myself a brandy.
Okay. So, yeah, there's you pour yourself some brandy, and there's a metal object about hand size that looks like some type of Egyptian symbol. It's not an ankh, but it's you don't know Egyptian, but you've seen movies and stuff,
Right.
so it's that type of style.
Well, I'm Foreign Legion, so I may have spent some time, in North Africa.
Right.
Is the door closable?
You kicked it in, so you can kind of half close it, maybe.
I'll half close it and prop a chair against it.
Okay. So what I'll do is I will rejoin as the game master. So then I can go to the dynamic lighting, and then I can take this and I'll just kind of set it there. So a little area, and I'll just say that it wasn't able to fully close. And then I'll go back to the objects and token. You also do see, you might not see it depending on how well my lines were drawn, but there is a door here and a door here, as well as the stairs going up.
Right.
And that's one thing. Sometimes the lines will cross a door completely when you do your lines for your dynamic lighting. So always be sure to let the players know where doors and windows, etc. might be, because they might not be able to see it via the map because it might be blocked off to their vantage point.
Is the Egyptian artifact mounted on the wall? Am I able to?
No, it's just sitting up on like a mantle. It's not like a wooden shelf, but it's like part of the wall, like a stone mantle coming out of the wall, and it's just kind of sitting there. It kind of looks like a big medallion, but it doesn't have like a neck piece or anything.
I'm going to pick it up and look at it a little closer.
Okay. It doesn't feel strange or anything. It just is this Egyptian symbol.
Hmm. I'm going to put it in my pocket for now.
Okay.
Shall we try the back room?
Oh, let's try this door here first.
Yep.
Okay, so I will go ahead to the dynamic lighting. That door opens. It's not locked.
You at this point have my godlight pistol up. Or god meter.
Okay.
Godlight.
Yeah, it depends on which one, but you go there. It looks to be a kitchen. There's a table in the middle, and like a fireplace against the wall over here, and some pots and pans, and places to prepare food and to store utensils and things. It looks pretty tidy. It's not messed up or anything. Very proper.
Come over and go to this door.
Okay, so I'll do the same thing. I will grab that and move the door. This looks like a room that is storage, so there's barrels of flour and various things, canned goods, jarred, preserved foods and things like that.
Uh-huh.
Looks like we're going up.
Yeah.
Nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Out of place.
Right.
We'll actually have the drone go one in front of you as we go up. Just basically, it'll be the first.
Okay.
That's what-
So,
Gives you the light and maybe makes it target a bit rather than you.
so I will go ahead and say that the stairs that I'm going to move you to for the next level are a little off. The stairs kind of go off to the next level, but then they continue up. Basically, on this map that I found on the internet, I didn't like the placement of level 2 and 3, and I wanted to switch them. So it looks like it actually stops, but it doesn't.
Okay.
So just to let you know that the stairs do continue. So I'm going to take the drone, and I'm going to move him, and then I'll move Jean-Claude, and then I'll move Void. So you get to this area here, and it looks like a sprawling laboratory. So there's like this workbench here with all these weird test tubes, Bunsen burners. Looks like a jar that has electricity going around it. Weird types of batteries. There is this really strange looking cannon thing that you missed from the outside because you rolled poorly. And standing at the controls in front, like attached to that cannon, is this guy. And then I have this portrait, and I bring up the portrait, and then I can show to the players. It says not visible, so then I show to everybody, and now everybody will be able to see that. And then if they click the little magnifier in the middle, then they'll get the full blown.
Oh, wow. I thought it was a chick at first.
So it's a man that definitely has like pock marks on his face.
Well,
And-
smallpox was still a major disease back then.
And he's standing at the controls, and he actually goes on what seems to be like a Nile villain monologue, which kind of like makes you do a double take, and he's like, you're too late. My acquisition overdrive engine will help the poor, ignorant masses in this world by extracting the riches of the ocean floor. Those voices whispering over my head promised that I was on the verge of a major breakthrough, and now witness the power of this fully operational engine. And he throws a switch, and this purple beam shoots out of this cannon, and it shoots kind of down the river and hits an area, and like this area here is a balcony off of the tower, so that you can see through, and kind of a little bit in front of that dreadnought, the ironclad dreadnought that you had seen, the river water kind of starts boiling and bubbling, and you see something kind of come out of the river, and at first you're not quite sure what it is, but then you realize that it's the prow of some type of ancient ship, and it's covered with barnacles and slimy seaweed, and it rises, and then it kind of like falls to the surface, and you see numerous figures kind of floating around the ship.
Floating?
Floating, like floating in the air, like flying, floating around the ship, like spectrally.
I thought you meant floating in the water.
Oh, no, like, hovering around the ship deck and up around the sails and the masts. It's, a sailing type vessel. And the man kind of looks out at that ship, and he just like falls to his knees and clutches his head and just like gives out an ear-piercing shriek, like his mind just snapped.
I think his mind snapped before then.
And the purple beam is still kind of going out to the sea, and it like another area starts bubbling up.
Can I run over and flip the switch?
Run over and then give me a heroic mind test to figure how to shut it off. So we're looking at a difficulty of 18.
Oh, good grief.
If Void wanted to help, he could help at a 16.
Void, do you have a better mind than I do?
Of course I do. I'm a 9.
But what I did was I moved there because I realized that it didn't there was no block off from seeing that from the window here.
So I'm going to yell at you to shut it off, and I'm going to try and assist you.
Okay, so for the assist, you look at a 16.
Oh, no.
Ooh, not assist.
I really don't even think a possibility will get me close.
Okay, so you kind of like start fumbling around, and you are able to like finally turn the thing off by breaking it, but another vessel has barnacle ghost ship type thing has surfaced. So there's two of them right in front of the ironclad dreadnought. And
You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, check your mic. You became a little unclear there for a second.
okay, let me. I'm gonna go disconnect and then connect again. Is this better?
No, you're still crackly.
Better or not?
Now
Yeah,
it is.
now you are.
Okay, hold on. Let me pause things and I'll be right back.
Okay.
So, starting this again. Okay, so is my voice and everything working now?
No, you're crackly again.
Crackly again.
Might be something about your headset itself. It's almost like you're touching or brushing the mic.
Huh. And now?
Now it's
Now it's a little clearer.
Okay. So I'm not sure what happened. I just kind of moved the microphone a little bit again. So sorry about that, people at home. That happens. So sometimes you just have to adjust things on the fly. And that's one of the reasons I do this, because everything could be working great in theory, but not in actual practice. So they... Oops, my mic fell. My cat decided to jump on my lap and knock over the mic. So two ships have risen out. This guy here is kind of, he's no longer shrieking, but he's still like clutching, on his knees, clutching his head and kind of shaking it back and forth like he doesn't understand what is going on, and he keeps kind of whispering over and over, the voices above my head, they told me, they told me it would work. The voices above my head, they told me it would work. They told me it would work.
I'm going to grab him by the lapels of his suit coat.
Okay.
Haul him up to his feet and give him a couple of hard slaps.
Okay.
Take him out of his insanity.
He kind of shakes his head and looks at you.
Pull yourself together, man.
He says, but it should have worked.
Well, how do we reverse what you did?
There's no reversing. It was supposed to bring the treasures of the deep up to be used by the poor masses.
I'm sure there's treasure on those ships out there. Why not?
Who told you to do this?
The voices above my head.
Stairs?
There's somebody on the floor above you?
He kind of looks around, and he's like, there's nobody above me. There's just the voices above my head.
So you were clearly insane before you even started this project.
Where do you hear these voices?
Above my head. And from being in here, you do see, you have the the stairs that continue up, and there's a door here and a door here.
Well, I'm going to check out this door real quick. And I'm going to kind of drag him with me.
Okay.
His bedroom.
Yes, definitely looks like a bedroom. You can kind of see now you can see the whole thing. Kind of a writing table with a journal in it.
Does this go all the way around to the other door?
If you move around, you can see it. So yes, it does.
I will start heading upstairs.
I will drag him with me and follow.
Okay, so I'll move you to a new area. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and move Void and the drone. If it stays up here, it's not working. So I'll just move it on top of his character so he can actually see. And then I'll move Jean-Claude, and he was dragging the guy with them. So I'll move them all there. I'm going to move this over here. And then we should be able to see. So yes, you go up, and this looks like an attic, and it's very dusty and cobwebby, and it doesn't seem like anybody has been up here in a very long time. You see one door over here.
I'm going to let go of him. Move to the door.
Okay. So the door is unlocked. I'm going to the dynamic lighting to get ready to open it when they open it.
Open it.
So hold on, you step in, and we will go into initiative.
Huh.
So kind of floating in the middle of this room, and I will now show this to the players. Is like this floating thing that looks like a head with tentacles coming out where there used to be where there should be a mouth.
It's a squidbilly.
So we're going to use down here as the playing field. So I'm going to draw my card to start the initiative. The first thing that I will have you all do is make a fear test, which you need to test willpower or spirit or become very stymied.
Well,
So-
that's just not.
So Jean-Paul is not afraid. Well, he might be afraid, but he's not stymied because of it, very stymied. But Void is going to be very stymied.
Void voided his pants.
Void just says those things should not exist.
So it has dread, so the scene becomes dramatic. So we look at the card, and since we're at a point where Orish Sourcebook hasn't come out, we just have the normal standard drama deck. But the heroes are fatigued. So this is another rule change that I do just because it's supposed to happen at the end of every hero's turn, but sometimes I forget, especially the more players I have. So as soon as I see heroes fatigue when it's the beginning of their turn, I go ahead and have my heroes fatigue. They take their shock points. That it's mainly because I don't want to forget that it happens and give it to like the first few people and then not other ones. But yes, that is something that I am doing contrary to the way the rules are written. It's how I always did it in old Torg. It's how I do it in this Torg Eternity. Maneuver and trick are the approved actions. I'm going to try something. I'm going to go to this token, dynamic lighting. I'm going to give it vision. And then I'm going to see if I can control all players. Sometimes this has worked for me and sometimes it hasn't. Hopefully it'll work here. Otherwise I'll drag it down to that playing area so that everybody can see it. But can you see the threat template now?
I can see the thing.
Okay, so that is the threats. Luckily, you do have the drone there giving off the light. So instead of his toughness being boosted up at the 20 for pitch black, or even 16 for being dark, it's going to have a toughness of 14 because it's being lit up by that assault drone. I keep saying droid for some reason.
The +2 next to its things. Dodge and
Yes, that is this is a new thing that I started. I read that somebody else was doing it, and I thought that it was a good idea to remind people. So from now on, in any of my games, my Torg games, if any defenses have a plus next to it, normally it's going to be a dodge, unarmed, and or melee, and that means that it's a larger type size category, and that's the bonus modifier you will get for physical attacks against it. So this is a large creature, and you will gain a +2 when you physically attack it. So to go through, I'll zoom in for the people watching this. So my threat cards, as I showed you in I think one of my very first videos, that I try to put a lot more of the defenses than the normal threat cards do. And for willpower, the first one is based off of spirit, and the second one is based off of mind. And then the toughness is here. It doesn't have armor, but if they would have went in with some dim torches or no lighting, the toughness would have been boosted by the darkness penalty. So that's what those are. And the +2s I also made italics to show that it's an opposite of helping it. It's helping the party. So if you did your fatigue void, so Jean Paul, just click the fatigue plus, and it'll give you the right amount of shock damage from the fatigue.
Where is that?
It's on the character sheet, over by where wounds and shock and that. It's the bottom one. There's a little plus button.
Okay. Click
that. If you click that, then your shock should automatically, there you go. You have 2 points of shock, and then 1 point for whatever armor you're wearing is fatiguing armor. But now the heroes can go. Even though I can usually remember 2 people, I'll go ahead and I'll start a turn order. My normal games have between 7 and 8 players. So what I'll do is I have my turn here, and I'll add that token, and then I will add the other tokens, and then when people go, I will just move them above the turn, and once the turn's at the bottom, I know that all the heroes have went.
Well, I'm going to shoot the damn thing.
Okay.
It's big, it's ugly, it's a head with tentacles floating in the air.
Mm-hmm.
No modifier.
What I want to ask is, are you using your full auto or not?
Full auto.
Okay, so you don't need to change anything, because I believe if I look at your character sheet, it has a plus to attack of 7, but it will take 7 of your ammo. So instead of having 30, you'll have 23 ammo left.
Right. So no modifier.
Correct. No, it's automatically going to give you the +7. Or it should have. Long burst. And this is a weird thing. Sometimes that +7 works, and sometimes it doesn't. It should have added here. So the 18, the 9 was a -1 bonus. So 17, so actually it was 24. So what I said was wrong. And this is weird because sometimes I've used that character sheet. Let's actually go to the character sheet. And sometimes this +7 actually works as a 7. And sometimes it doesn't. Let me do it. We'll use yours, but I just want to try it myself.
Right.
So it didn't work that time. And I know we've played this game sometimes and it's worked. So you might test it out at home. Just remember, if it doesn't transfer here, you're just going to have to add things to it. So you actually got a 24, and I was wrong. You should have had the +2 because you were shooting and it was large. So that should have been there. So it was actually a 26, 7 for the long burst, 2 for it being large, and 26 against its dodge of 7 is an outstanding.
Okay. So damage 14. Bonus dice.
Would be 2 for the outstanding.
Target toughness is 7. Or is it 4? It's 14.
It's 14, yes. Because you have enough light shining on it that it doesn't have the higher toughnesses. So it has 1 wound, 2 shock. It will attempt to spend a possibility to soak it. And one of the mean things about Orosh is that the law of perseverance only is for storm knights. So horrors, the Gaunt Man wants his horrors to be fine, so they don't have the lesser heals soaking. So if I go here and I go to the thing in the attic, that was the picture. So if I go to my threats, Orosh, thing in the attic, character sheet, and then I can, yes?
It's where it says bonus dice, below that, did I get 2 bonus dice for the outstanding? Or is that already factored in?
The effect is showing 2 bonus dice.
Okay.
Yeah, only
Basically,
the outstanding.
yeah, 2 is the highest you would get. Basically, your 14 is what your base damage was, and then your first die rolled a 2, and your second die rolled a 6, exploded and rolled a 1. So you got 8.
Okay.
An effect value of 8, because basically the base damage and toughness canceled each other out. Your roll was an 8, which was pretty decent, and that's why you did the 1 wound, 2 shock. Going to go ahead and roll reality, no modifier, and no, it's trying to soak your damage.
Okay.
Its result was a 5, which is not going to soak, so it's going to spend a second possibility.
Can I negate the possibility with one of mine?
We have to have the right perk.
You have to have the right perk.
Okay.
It is a core Earth reality perk, but it's a negation.
Okay.
Basically, Torg Eternity realized that in Torg, half of people's possibilities were just negating of other possibilities, and it kind of just got ridiculous. So that rule has been turned into a specific perk. But the modifier was nothing. The previous roll was actually a 2. So the result was a 14. So it soaked everything, but it did spend 2 possibilities. So here you can just take and minus the 1. It has 2. You put -1. Make sure that you hit enter. It goes down to 1.
So that was Jean-Paul.
That was Jean-Paul, yes. So you can go.
Considered adjacent to it right now because of its size, right?
Yes.
The drone is going to take the vulnerable and go to vulnerable.
Okay.
For moving away from it in combat. And then it's going to shoot it.
Okay.
I get to put a card in my pool, but I don't get to draw a card.
Correct. So the assault drone shoots a laser. You did add your +2. The 14 against its dodge is a good success because the dodge is a 7. It's kind of big and floaty, not a fast zooming floating tentacle head.
Alright, so damage on that. 1 bonus die. Toughness.
All right.
Okay, so you also did a wound and 2 shock, and it will go ahead and take that.
With holy fire.
So I want to add a wound, or I can do it here, and then as you see, it went to the 3 places on the character sheet, and then the 2 shock here, and it went to the character sheet also, so everything linked up.
Now,
and
for my actual turn, is this considered? Would I have line of sight here?
If you move there, can you see it?
The thing is I can kind of see it because of the drone. So I think I can draw a line to it.
Yeah, if you can do it like a no snapping or something, and
yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can see it. I mean, even there, right at the edge, you get to the middle of the door. So, and we use the ruler tool a lot to figure out line of sight.
I will aim then because I have a feeling that people are going to be in melee shortly.
Okay. And since it's the end of your turn, your drone is no longer vulnerable. And you are no longer very stymied. So since you guys went first, that didn't affect you as bad as it could have.
And then its turn.
Yes. So yes, it's going to move forward. And will try to use its tentacles to swipe at Jean-Paul. It kind of is staying away from the light of the drone as much as it can. So a 10, and what is your either your melee or unarmed? You had your gun out, so what is your unarmed defense?
10.
10. Okay, so it barely hit, just normal. So what we can do here is do a no bonus dice because it was a standard success. And one of the things, the default for these character sheets is that they have the display roll only, and I always forget to change it to ask for toughness. So if I do that again, it's going to be the same damage because it's a standard damage, no bonus dice. But now I can ask Peter, what is John Paul's toughness? Or Jean-Claude?
13.
13. And now it will show up that he takes you take 2 points of shock damage as you get hit with this tentacle.
Tentacle slap.
Yes, and because we had 2 people, I was forgetting to move that, but I moved that, and then at the beginning of the next turn, I can do that. And then we go here, and the villain goes, but he fatigues. So, in all fairness, because I make the heroes fatigue at the beginning, the villain will fatigue. So he takes some shock. Trick is the approved action, but it's still going to just try to smack Jean-Claude and hopefully better it in its opinion. And it does the same thing. So that would be an additional 2 shock to Jean-Claude. Jean-Paul, sorry.
I'm going to need to get rid of some shock here in a minute.
So it is the hero's turn. And sometimes it's hard to figure out where to put things. So if you want to pop out the map, the character card, you can.
You want to go first?
I'll go ahead and take my shot first.
Okay.
So my aimed shot, I am shooting with a godlight laser.
Okay.
A bonus of 4 for aim.
And then 2 for it being large.
Whoops.
So
Forgot about that part.
Well,
13.
then you got a 13. 13 is still a good success against the dodge of 7.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and spend a possibility on that, and that's
Okay.
I'll correct it to it.
So since he had forgot the 2 for being large, and he's spending a possibility, when he clicks on the possibility, and it brings up the ask for the modifier, he can change that, because normally if you have things correct, you just keep the same modifier, but he was able to adjust it here to 6, put in his last roll of 5. He rolled an 8, counts as a minimum of a 10, so that's a 15 roll plus 2, so his result is a 19. It's versus the dodge of a 7, so that's an outstanding hit.
So 2 bonus dice on the damage.
Yes.
Still a 14 toughness.
Correct.
And I did the opposite of what they did. I rolled poorly.
Yeah, 4 and a 1. So it will go ahead and take that. So if I put a +1 there and a +2 here, that will adjust everything.
Jean-Paul, do you want my drone to go? Because it can actually melee. It has to.
Sure, go ahead.
So the assault drone switches over to light blades instead of lasers.
Yeah, and from what I read before we started, you just take a simple action to tell it to switch, but its switching actually takes its action.
So then it doesn't get to attack then?
Correct.
So then it'd be switching...
Unless you wanted to multi-action, I would allow that. You'd have a -2.
Okay. We'll have it, give it a shot. It's the harder target, but the negative canceled by its size, basically.
Right. So the +2 to hit, the -2 for the multi-action that I'm allowing as a ruling. But it's still
now,
would miss.
Can I spend a possibility for it? I forget.
Yes, you are allowed to spend possibilities for your drone. It doesn't get its own, but...
Then I will do that. I actually forgot my possibility. So I'll take up 2.
And one thing, I don't think drones actually have shock, but I just added it like I would normally. It's not something I need to stop the game over. So, Were you spending the possibility then for the drone?
In the process, last roll was a 2. So it barely hits.
So yeah, one point shy from a good success.
Yeah, I have nothing that adds bonuses in my cards. I have a glory if you do really well, Jean-Paul.
I've got 2 glories.
That's funny.
But if you want, I could trade you an action card.
Sure. What I had in my pool right now is the Seize Initiative, which wouldn't be a bad one to use before we flip so that he fatigues again.
Okay, so I'll move that down to the area that's able to be seen.
Take the Seize Initiative. And the action added 3.
Adds 3.
Which makes it 1 bonus die.
And was the drama what you used for the possibility? Or why is the drama there?
I don't know where the drama came from.
Oh, the drama came from me. I
Okay.
clicked on the wrong card, so I'll take that back.
So he uses the action to make the 14 over here in the chat a 17, which then would actually against the 10 would be a good success. So he would get 1 bonus die for his damage. So 2 shock. And I know other groups have it where they always say that shock doesn't, usually people don't drop from shock, but in all of my game mastering experience, as you can see here, the shock is really adding up on it. Jean-Paul and Void has a couple of points. So a lot of the main bad creatures usually drop in my games because of shock, not because of wounds. So
especially if they have any kind of either a high toughness or a lot of armor, and we're not carrying armor piercing.
Right.
Basically, buffet them till they're unconscious.
Yeah, basically they nickel and dime them until they fall unconscious. So that was everybody, and again, I'm in my larger games with. Jean-Paul still needed to go. In my larger games, I do try to use that turn order, but with only 2 Storm Knights, it's usually not that difficult.
So I'm going to shoot it again.
Okay, is that a rifle? Or is that a? It's not a pistol, correct?
A rifle.
You're against it in melee, so you cannot use a rifle in melee.
Can I take a step and fire?
You can step back. It will make you vulnerable, but then you can shoot it. Yes.
You also run the risk of hitting the drone because it's adjacent.
If you roll odd, then you'll have probably a third of a chance, a 33% chance.
Well, of course, switching over to my knife is going to take my turn anyway.
No, it's a simple to switch out weapons would be put away your rifle, simple, take out your knife, simple, and then you can do your normal action.
But I'm going to do a lot less damage, and my to hit goes down quite a bit.
Move back and aim, like move down, you become vulnerable, but then you could aim towards it.
Well, it's pissed me off. I'm gonna
Gonna knife it.
I'm gonna get me some calamari, and I'm gonna switch to my knife. No modifier.
You get a +2
+2.
because it's big.
You're looking for a 10.
There you go.
Oh,
Get you some. You got? Was that drama card in your pool?
yes.
Do you think you can push it to glory?
Well,
If you had a possibility, a drama, and a hero, it would be really close. It would not be guaranteed, but it would be really close.
I've got the drama and 2 possibilities.
Well, you can only spend one of the possibilities.
Well, I'm
You
going to
can
spend.
drop the drama and see what happens, or spend the
I'm going to
possibility.
spend. Drop the drama.
Okay.
So use that as a possibility. Modifiers.
It's still the 2.
Last roll was a 27.
Yeah, he got an outstanding, but he was trying to see where he could go. So he's up to a 39.
Oh, you got to get a 21 on one roll. That'd be rough. I have no cards to help you, unfortunately. If I had a hero, I'd trade it to you in a blink.
Why not? I mean,
Go big, go home, right?
go big. Go home. Yep.
So he's going to spend a possibility on the slight chance that he gets a 20 or a 10 and then explodes high enough. So a 10% chance of an explosion.
Modifier is still +2.
Yep.
Last roll was a 20.
No, it's 39.
39.
And you went to a 49.
Yeah, yeah.
11 shy.
It was a good effort.
2 bonus dice, though.
Yeah, you get 2 bonus dice.
So this is damage, right?
Yes.
Damage bonus dice 2. Target toughness
14.
No.
No,
Use
so
your season initiative.
yeah, okay. So it did two shock because you rolled a 3 and a 1 on your 2 bonus dice.
Right. It takes the 2 shock, but then if we use season initiative, it gets to go first, but it
Whoops.
will fatigue again.
Sorry,
Whoa,
I hit the wrong. Instead of hitting a +2, I hit 2. So it had taken it like 4 times. So I think then this was so I think it's at that amount now.
Yeah, then seize initiative.
Well, if I seize the initiative, it goes first, right?
Yeah, but it might be unconscious, or it's close to unconscious.
Or if I let them flip the card, and we go first.
It's a dramatic scene, though. Actually, villains going first and fatiguing is actually a good result on a dramatic scene.
It's the risk versus reward. Do you want the guaranteed 2 points of shock, or do you want a chance that you might go first?
Or we might go first, or we might surge, or we might, any one of a number of different things.
Right.
How far away from fatiguing out are you?
I'm at 7 out of 9.
So even if we get heroes fatigue, then you collapse.
Yeah. But if he's been hitting me for at least 2 shots each
He has
time.
been. But you do have a possibility. If you take 2 shock, you can soak that fairly easily.
So, seize the initiative.
Okay. So what I'll do here is I'll just take and copy and paste. And why I normally do that is just so that if I need to count how many rounds have gone, I have all the cards here. And then when I get rid of them, only one will actually go back to the drama deck. So that's something that you can do if you want to keep track of rounds that way. So the villain will fatigue. I'll make sure I hit the +2 this time. He doesn't go unconscious. And he will try to attack Jean-Paul again. And what happened there is because I had made this pop out, so I have to... Let me try that again. Oh, maybe I clicked the wrong thing. I somehow clicked add instead of that. So, okay, here we go. Input value, nothing. And the 8 does, I'm pretty sure, does not hit, correct?
The
Or sorry, what's your melee defense?
10.
10. So yes, it being wounded gave it a -2, so it does not hit you. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first. We've been switching off, so I'll go first this time.
Okay.
Modifier is 2 for it being large.
That will be a good success.
Do I want to use my last possibility?
That depends on whether or not you think there's anything else after this. Like maybe 2 giant ghost ships.
So we will bonus dice.
Would it be 1?
1.
He gets 1 bonus die because he got a good success.
14. 1 shot.
1 shock.
Is it enough?
No, because you have to go over the shock. It's a common mistake that people have. In Torg, your wounds are not like hit points in which they count down and at 0 you fall unconscious, or your shock count down, they count up. And the shock and wound value is how much you take before you're either you're KO'd by shock, or you have to do a death and defeat by wounds. So he's teetering, but it's still there.
Use your drone to take him out.
Yeah, the drone will follow up with your knife strike and try to slice you off a piece of calamari.
So the last turn, the drone switched from its ranged attack to its little spinning saw blade type appendages, and is going to try to saw the thing in the attic.
And I get a bonus of 2 this time. Last time I had a multi-action penalty. Now I don't.
Correct.
I will spend the possibility to hit.
Okay.
That is sad. That is my last possibility, so good luck with the ghost ships. Because I have to aim before I do anything this round. I don't know if we want to leave it around that much longer.
So, oh wow. Okay, his last roll was a 5, and he rolled a 17 to get that up to a 22. plus 8 is a 21. That's an outstanding hit with those little circular saw blades. And 2 shock. So he and what I usually do for knockouts is I tint the color red. I use the X for deaths, but you knock out, and then since it's a horror and not a person, you can dispatch it back to the waiting village because you don't know its true death in Rorsch. And you have slain the monster, the thing in the attic. To speed up, and we can maybe get this under 2 hours. Basically, the guy is still a little wacky. You do look at if you go down to the second level, his living quarter and the lab quarter, on his table, his writing table, was a journal, and in it he looked to be kind of like a scientist, a Victorian scientist, who was doing, some trying to figure out things, and he was interested in weird science of the Nile, and he actually had went to the Nile Empire and had kind of learned a little bit about weird science, and when he came back, he started hearing voices. And you kind of put together that the thing in the attic while he was gone had kind of used this, the guy had never really went up in the attic. He was just one of those, forgetful scientists who didn't need that rooms for anything, so never really went up there. And the previous owners of the tower somehow were dabbling in the occult, so this thing had been summoned, and it started influencing his mind and telling him that if he did certain things that he would get what he wanted, when in fact it was just trying to open up portals to pull additional horrors into the world, into the realm. So you were able to defeat the thing in the attic. And if you go down, if I just grab y'all, well, I even grabbed that thing, but let me put him back up there. If you look out where the gun is, the ray out through there, you can see the Thunder Lad exchanging cannon fire with the 2 ghost ships. And we will go ahead and we'll end it there, because that would be a really long additional thing to do it'd be a couple more scenes. And this is one of the things that in the actual adventure they kind of leave it up to the game master, and they're like, if you want to continue. If you want to end it off with the ships fighting off into the sunset, you can, or out past visible range of the light, then you can do that. So that's kind of what I'm doing here.
Boyd could send his combat droid to go.
Right.
Hit front attacks on the.
Yep. Go have it defend the ironclad.
Can we figure out what happened to the information station?
Does it look like they were beaten by tentacles?
Basically, they got hit by that beam in its previous form, and they all kind of had went mad. Basically the. Let's see if I go to. I think I put it on the map background. So basically, it had been pointing at that cabin, and it got hit with that beam, and then
Tower.
and then things had to be adjusted because it didn't bring up any treasure.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And it had driven the people in the information station crazy, and they actually the role that you failed was they had to kill each other. Nothing from the outside had came in. They had all basically went mad and killed each other. So that's why there weren't any tracks in or out or anything. Everything was pretty much kept in tune. The code that you get is the flash drive, and the papers that you get basically are the same thing. It's kind of the last 2 weeks since the last major drop-off of information was being collected on things happening around Orosh, this area of Orosh. So I'll go ahead and I'll thank everybody for watching, and thank you Anthony and Peter for participating and allowing yourselves to be recorded once again to show people how the playthrough works with dynamic lighting. And as you saw, we make mistakes all the time. I forget to do the turn order, or I had forgot to put the thing's token out of sight, so I had it over here to begin with, and it could kind of be seen. But you just kind of roll with the punches and you go along, and hopefully everybody still enjoys the adventure. So this is... What was that? Sorry?
Thank you much. Do we get experience?
Yes, you will get 5 XP that you can add to your character and choose to spend or not, or spend some and not other parts, depending on what you want before any of our next playthrough using the Torg Eternity Unsung Heroes. And for those of you watching, again, thank you for watching. This is Orvalachan, Less Than Guru, signing off.